Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Christopher with Plan Your Adventures, and in today's video we are talking about what you need to do before Embarkation Day on a Disney cruise. Some of this will transfer over for other cruise lines, but specifically we're talking about pre-Disney cruise arrival day. What do you need to do? Now, why are we talking about this? Surprise! I'm going on a Disney cruise. I'm so excited. So I am going on the Disney Dream. It's a 5-night Halloween on the high seas sailing. Now, everything we're going to talk about in today's video is any cruise. It's not just for this specific ship or sail Halloween situation. So what do you need to do before you embark on a Disney cruise ship? There's a lot of things to think about. Honestly, Embarkation Day is pretty hectic and stressful, and when you're on the ship, it can be crazy. So kind of having a little bit of a strategy and game plan and thinking about some of these things in advance is going to really help that day go a little bit smoothly for you. So thing number one, it depends on what tier you are in their Castaway Club, which is their loyalty club. So depending on how many cruises you've done with Disney before, you will be able to know what your check-in time is. The more cruises you've done, the earlier you can check in. The reason this is important is because the earlier you can check in, the better. As soon as your window opens, you want to log into your Disney account and check in for your cruise. The reason this is important mainly is so that you can get an early port arrival time. They start anywhere from that 10 to 11 o'clock window, depending on the cruise. And the earlier time that you can get, the earlier boarding group you can get, means you can get aboard the ship earlier. And so who doesn't want to start their vacation earlier? So do that as soon as your booking window opens for your check-in. And if you're not really sure what that date is, hey, that's your travel agent's job to tell you. So message me if you're ready to plan a cruise, because I love planning Disney cruises. But anyway, so that's the first thing, kind of usually about a month to a month and a half out from your cruise, check in as early as possible. You also want to make sure that you have downloaded the Disney Cruise Line app. There's not too much you can do in advance in the Disney Cruise Line app, but you just want to make sure you have it downloaded. You should already, from months and months and months ago, have a Disney Cruise account set up and this specific cruise linked. Again, if you don't know how to do that, reach out to your travel agent and we'll make sure that it is all secured for you. But that is going to link your reservation. You're going to have a whole account set up and it'll be right there on your phone so that when you're on the cruise, everything is done in this app. So again, you're not going to be able to see too much until Embarkation Day, but just make sure you have the app downloaded. You're a little bit familiar. You could look around, see what you can see in advance. And then once you get into that cruise port terminal on Embarkation Day, the world is your oyster. You can see the whole the itinerary. You can make reservations through there. So lots of stuff. Which, speaking of reservations, that is another thing that you do in advance. If you have a child on board that is interested in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, getting all princessified. Actually, I meant to say princessified, but they do have, for little boys, you can become a pirate or a prince as well. So if you're interested in Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, there also is a Royal Gathering, it's called. So it's free. I'll show it to you in the vlogs when I'm on board. But you can meet a lot of the princesses, but you do have to sign up for a time. There's other things for adults as well. Things like mixology classes or bourbon classes or special VIP tours or things like that. So there are some activities that you can book in advance, as well as port excursions. So if you're going to one of the private destinations like Castaway or Lookout, there's certain activities you can book there. Or if you're going to Athens, Greece, or Rome, or Nassau, Bahamas, there are excursions that can be booked, whether it's boat tours, or swimming with dolphins, or a tour of Rome, or whatever. Those are all things that you would do in advance. A lot of this stuff, especially for Disney Cruise Line, sells out. The excursions, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, Royal Gathering, they fill up quickly. So the tip here, we're not going to go into details on all of the options, but the real tip here is to book as soon as your booking window opens. Check in as soon as your check-in window opens. I, as your travel agent, because you're going to message me to plan this magical vacation, right? Because it's free for you. I will help you through that process. I'll make sure, and I'll actually be the one for a lot of these things, that I'll do it at midnight, or I'll wake up at 6 a.m. to book the things because you worked with me, and I will help you along the whole way. So that's kind of the tech stuff. That's the booking stuff in advance, right? So let's say all of that is done. You know what excursions you're doing, bibbidi-bobbidi boutique, whatever. Now we're just kind of leading up to the cruise. And there are still some things that you want to think about and do in advance. Let's first talk about requests. So make sure you communicate with Disney Cruise Line or your travel agent certain requests that you have. For example, in terms of your room, if you need the sofa bed set up or pulled down or bed rails or things like that you want to request for the room, you can do that in advance. A lot of time it's also easy to just talk to your cabin steward on board, but that is an option in advance. If you have birthdays or celebrations, we can notate that in advance so that they're ready for you when you get on board. There are dining requests that you can make, like if you want a private table for dining, or there's 2 different dining times on Disney Cruise Line, early and late. Let's say you really wanted early, but it wasn't available. Well, we could put you on a wait list for that. So there's different requests and wait lists and things that can be made in advance. Oh, I didn't even talk yet about Palo. That was back in the reservation point, in the making your bookings and things as soon as your window opens. That's also when you would reserve adult dining, like Palo or Enchante or something like that. So keep that in mind, all the adults out there, because Palo, so good. And it's very popular. But yeah, so any requests, let me know as your travel agent. I'll call into Disney Cruise Line and get that all notated for you. If there are other cabins that you're traveling with, we'll want to also make sure that you're linked. So that's, again, something that I do, but let's just communicate about that. Or if you already booked and don't have a travel agent, make sure that you're all linked in the app. And if you have issues, Disney Cruise Line can help make sure you're all linked. That's to make sure that you eat together in the dining room. And also when you're making all of those reservations we just talked about, you'll be able to make them together as long as you're linked in the app and on the reservation. Okay, so I think we can now kind of transition into we're getting ready to pack. We're kind of in that era. We're getting quite close. I say the same thing for Walt Disney World as well. There is some merchandise and things that you can get in advance that will be cheaper, not right from Disney. For example, you want cute Disney ears, you can probably find some cuter at, they sell them everywhere now. I feel like Walmart sometimes has them, Costco or BJ's sometimes has them, Amazon, Etsy, there's lots of options. Your kids want bubble wands, your kids want plushies. I do have some clients that kind of get things in advance, more affordable, and even if they hide them from their kids, and then when they're on the ship, be like, look, we got this for you, and it was more affordable. So I think I love getting a little bit of merchandise when I'm on the ship, but if you have lots of kids or want to really save costs, that is something you can think about in advance for sure. Or matching t-shirts for the cruise, things like that. I also like to think about themed nights. So a lot of Disney cruises have pirate night. So do you want a little pirate outfit for that or some accessories for that? Some of the Alaska sailings will have a Frozen night. There's special themed days on certain cruises, whether it's Halloween or Christmas or Pixar Day at Sea, Marvel Day at Sea, things like that. Or maybe you want a shirt or an outfit or ears to match that occasion. That is something to think about in advance for sure. You're able to bring, all the adults are able to bring a certain amount of alcohol on board. So this is a huge tip I have. I'm not super familiar with, I know you can bring beer and other things like that. I always bring wine on board. Each adult is allowed to bring 2 bottles of the standard size bottle of wine, but I know you can also bring a certain amount of like cans of beer and things like that. It just is going to save you money, because you can bring it on, have it in your cabin, and then even if you want to bring it to dinner, you can, or, you know, to the show, you just pour it from your cabin and then bring it out on the ship with you. That's totally allowed. You just don't like bring the whole bottle of wine to dinner because they may have to charge you a corking or an uncorking fee, but if you just bring a glass, it saves a ton of money. So I always do that. You do need to bring those things in your carry-on, so it can't be in any luggage that you check with them to get sent to your room. It has to be like on your person as you walk onto the ship. So keep that in mind. But there's other things like that. You want to think about prohibited items, make sure none of that is on your packing list. You can bring a certain amount of like water bottles or sodas or things like that as well. So just look into that information, or have me look into that information for you as your travel agent, and get that all squared away. It's just a good way to save money. You know, whether you're getting some souvenirs in advance or bringing some of these beverages on board. And maybe like, you know, comfort, like there's a favorite wine or beer that you love that they may not have on board. So just keeping that in mind. Okay, we're not necessarily going in order because I'm kind of jumping back in time here. A huge resource that I find really helpful is to be in your cruise Facebook group. So if you have a Facebook profile, here's what you need to do. Go into the search bar and you're going to search. It's a group is what you're searching for, but just search for, in my example, Disney Dream October 20th, 2025. And a group, 99.999% of the time, you're going to have at least one, if not 2 or 3 groups pop up, will show as one of the options right there on the top for you. Request to join that group for your specific sailing. Disney Wish, February 18th, 2026. Whatever it is, your ship and your sail date. This is going to be a really helpful resource. The only people in this group are going to be other people on your sailing, so you can kind of get to know people in advance. If people get information like, for example, what night pirate night is, or oh, it looks like there's availability for the cabanas at Castaway Cay and they were sold out but they're available now, so people will put information in there. It's also, if you have ever heard of pixie dusting or fish extenders, that's basically you do like little swaps with different cabins, whether it's a pin group or a magnet group or just like a generic one where, you know, kids or adults swap cute little Disney things. I won't go into too much detail, but it's not required by any means, but a lot of people like an extra level of pixie dust and like to do swaps and bring magic to pixie dust other cabins. So there's often signups for things like that in the Facebook group to be in like an official group of, you know, 10 or 15 or 20 cabins, and you all trade with each other. So anything like that, if you're interested in, would be done in this Facebook group way before you're sailing. Honestly, like a lot of those groups start a year plus in advance. So just whenever you book your cruise, that's a great thing to go right to Facebook and join that group, so that you can stay informed and also be a part of that community. Sometimes they'll do meetups or do tips and tricks in there, so it's a great resource for sure. Okay, sorry, I know we went like back in time. But while we're back in time, let's also think about the day before Embarkation Day. If you are flying in, if you do not live locally, I 10 out of 10 out of 10 recommend to fly in the night before. I do not recommend flying in the day of Embarkation Day. Here's why. The ship will not wait for you. If your flight is delayed, if your flight is canceled, if there's issues for whatever reason, the ship will leave without you. And nobody wants that. So every single travel agent and professional out there will tell you to fly in the night before. Even if you're taking the train, I mean, sometimes some people, even if you're driving, will prefer to get there the night before just to know that they're right by the port. So that is something that I can help set up for you, because Disney for sure, but most cruise lines like partner with hotels near the terminal, and then they can even add on transportation for a cost. So depending on what cruise terminal you're sailing out of, like if you're sailing out of Orlando, let's stay the night at Disney World. There are other hotel options too. But then we can also add on the DCL transportation for you that next morning from the hotel to the terminal. So it just keeps it very easy, keeps it all in-house with Disney in this case, and it just is a recommendation to get there the day before so that you're for sure good to go on embarkation morning. Okay, now as we're getting closer to the sail date, you want to make sure that you check in. So the Disney Cruise Line app will notify you a couple days before you're sailing that you're able to check in. I actually haven't done this yet, so I need to take my own advice and do that today. But you're able to check in. There'll be like a health questionnaire. You'll need to upload your passport and make sure all of that is in order. Just follow the prompts right in the check-in process. And that can be done, within a couple days of getting to the port. But make sure to do that in advance. It just makes it go a lot quicker on embarkation day. That check-in process can be very helpful. They probably already mailed you luggage tags. Sometimes you have to print them if they send them digitally instead. Just make sure you have that. If you don't for whatever reason, or if you forget them or they don't come in time, don't stress. They will have them at the terminal. This just can help skip a step on embarkation day if you have it already, and then you can just put it on your baggage. So when you get there, it's good to go. The porters that are there will take the luggage, and they won't even have to ask you any questions. They'll have all your cabin information right on that tag. Okay, so now we're in the packing process. So just a couple of ideas. Obviously you need to bring the normal stuff like bathing suits, clothing, right? All of that is non-negotiable. But just a couple other things that maybe you wouldn't think of. A lot of people like to decorate their door on a cruise, so you can get these things in advance, or if you have any Disney magnets, the doors are magnetic. Sometimes if you're staying concierge, I don't think they're always magnetic, but most Disney cabin doors are going to be magnetic, so you can bring cute magnets to put on the door. Again, totally optional, but just keep that in mind. If you're doing any of your fish extender, pixie dusting, magical trades with other cabins, make sure to bring all of that stuff as well. We already talked about Pirate Night and themed outfits. Don't forget about that. If you're worried at all about motion sickness, just bring something, whether it's some tablets, whether it's like chewable candies that help. I know they make like little stickers that you put here, or wristbands that can help with that. So just, keep that handy just in case you may need it. You're going to get a key card when you get to your cabin on embarkation day. So some people like to have a lanyard. If you're in one of the Castaway Club tiers, they usually give you one in your cabin. But if you're not, or if you just want to be safe, you could bring a little lanyard. Or on Disney cruises, don't forget, most sailings will allow the magic bands to work. So if you have a Magic Band Plus, one of the newest generation of Magic Bands, you can use that on, I want to say all, but I know sometimes it's not perfect. So 99% of Disney cruises, you can use those Magic Band Plus. Some people also like to bring a refillable water bottle. So on Disney Cruise Line, you get free sodas and things like that from the pool deck and from the buffet and things like that. So they give you little cups. So some people like to bring a refillable water bottle with them so that they can get a larger portion of that soda and or vitamin water and things like that. So that could be something helpful. And we're kind of getting to the end here of my tips and tricks before embarkation day. In your carry-on, so not what you send to your room with the porters as you arrive, what you're bringing onto the ship in your backpack or whatever you're carrying on, a lot of people don't go to the pools right away. So the pools are empty. So if you want to take advantage of your vacation right away, bring bring a bathing suit in your carry-on, because a lot of people pack it and then they don't have access to it for a couple hours. So bring a bathing suit. Also think about that. If you're getting on the ship at 11 o'clock in the morning and you may not have your luggage potentially until like late afternoon, for those couple of hours, think of anything you might need or anything that like you definitely want to know that you have for this cruise. Like medication, maybe a change of clothes for dinner. I know some people bring. That's not really required because worst case scenario, you just go in your embarkation day clothes and it's fine. But just think about that. Things that you definitely don't want lost or don't want to not have to have for a couple hours, bring with you on your person. Like I said, any alcohol or beverages you're bringing would go in that carry-on, not in the checked bags as well. I'm sure there's more, you guys. There's a lot that goes into prepping for a Disney cruise. But these are just some ideas that I wanted to get out and also to announce this Disney cruise for me. I'm so excited. We're going to both islands, Castaway and Lookout. We have a pirate night and we have a Halloween night festivities. So I'm just so excited. I will be vlogging. I also will be posting in real time over on Instagram. So if you want to follow along over there at Plan Your Adventures, I will be posting in my stories pretty regularly throughout the cruise. As of right now, I'm planning to buy Wi-Fi. It's expensive, but I have to be available for my clients and stuff. So we're probably going to buy the Wi-Fi. So I will be sharing in real time over there. But then don't you worry, I will be posting vlogs once I get back. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you are planning a cruise or Disney or Universal or any kind of vacation, send me a message or click the link in my description. I would love to help plan the magic. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see future videos, you can hit that subscribe button. And I will see y'all real soon. Thanks so much.